ghost song, and today I will be reading to you from Beneath the Surface by Unnamed Untold. And I've read over the chapter this time, so I can say for certain there are no trigger warnings that apply, but I'm going to read them off anyway, because this is a staple of the series. Depression, suicidal thoughts, suicide attempt, anorexia, bulimia, and vulgar language. I actually think the only one that applies here is vulgar language, maybe. Yeah, there's vulgar language in this one. That's the only one that applies. Anyway, now on to the next chapter. Chapter 16, Day 24. I woke with a yawn the next morning. To my left, I could hear the fire crackling. Above me, the cats purred in contentment. I blindly reached a hand out to my right, looking for Ivan, but felt nothing but cold blankets. I opened my eyes to see that his side was empty. "Ivan?" I called out. "Ah, you are awake," he said from the kitchen. I turned my head to the door and saw his poke out. "I am making breakfast. Do not get up. I will bring it to you. Though, if you want, I won't mind the view," he flirted. It was then that I realized I was still naked. A fierce blush came to my face, and I quickly covered up with the blanket. He walked back into the kitchen, and with a chuckle, and I stuck my tongue out at him, even if he didn't see it. I know people have a point when they call me childish, but I don't really care. I went to sit up, and ended up hissing in pain. "Are you all right?" he asked, coming back in here, and kneeling beside me. "Yeah, just really sore," I said in pain. "You didn't have to go so hard." "You asked me to, Thorgoya," he reminded with a smirk, and pulled me close. He kissed my temple softly. Yeah, just hand me my clothes," I said bitterly. "Yep," he said, picking them up and holding them away. "What? Why not?" "I want to see you," he said, like it was obvious. "Didn't you see me enough last night?" I asked with a bright blush. Seriously, I don't like walking around naked. I'm not France. "Niet, I will never see you enough. But I want to see you in sunlight, not pinned beneath me." He smiled with his trademark smirk. "I'm not getting up." I crossed my arms. "What happened to not making me do anything I'm not comfortable with?" "You are no fun." He rolled his eyes and handed me my clothes. He pressed a quick kiss to my temple before getting up and walking back into the kitchen. "Thank you," I snorted. I got dressed quickly and redid the bed. It was then that I noticed the kitchen light was on. "Yo, when did the power kick back in?" "Shortly before you woke up. I left the fire on since it will take time to warm up, huh?" he said from the kitchen. "Woohoo! Power!" I cheered and threw my arms up. "We can sleep in our own room now." "We only slept on the floor one night. Calm down," he said flatly as he walked in with 2 plates filled with eggs and bacon. "No!" "Child," he said with the shake of his head. He set down the plate in front of me. "So, what now?" I asked and nibbled on a piece of bacon. "What do you mean?" he asked. "Well, we only have 6 days left here. What do we do now? We've already done everything in the town, so this house ain't exactly full of interesting things to do." "You're interesting. I could do you." He flirted and winked. "Ivan!" I glared at him. "That is not what I meant. I wanted to have a bonfire, but the snow ruined that for a few days. We already watched almost all of the movies here." "You could model for me." "I'm being serious," I deadpanned. "So am I. You are not the only one who draws. I just prefer to draw still life instead of making up scenery. Drawing people are my favorite. It is more challenging, but more worth it," he told me. "All right, got nothing else to do," I said, slowly standing up. "Where do you want me?" "Laying down on the window seat. perhaps half propped up? He suggested as he got out my drawing set. You got it. I'm gonna go get changed first. Is there any particular style you want me to wear? I asked on my way up. Nothing would be best, he smirked. Ivan! Time skip to later. Oh my god, how long is this gonna take? My back is killing me, I complained from the position I had taken. My torso was propped up by my right arm. My left rested across my side with my hand on my hip. My legs were slightly closed with my right leg over my left. I was facing Ivan with my back to the window. I had been stuck in it for at least an hour, so my back ached from the position. Oh, hush, love, I'm nearly done, he said, sitting on the chair that he had brought in. Hurry up then. Of course, that's not real art, I said. Come on, Alfred, we've been through this a million times. Art is a broad term. He looked up from his sketch. Yeah, it's too broad, to the point of being indefinable. It's a fucking anti-definition, I said with a roll of my eyes. Now, a day's crap on the pavement is art. Go to a gallery and you will find entire canvases of absolutely nothing worth millions, I said, waving my hand. Perhaps that is the artistry of it, selling for that hyper scratch. The art businesses, you know, he suggested. Well, I don't agree with it, I snorted. Laziness shouldn't be rewarded. Cutting corners and scheming, sure, it's good business, but it ain't art, though. Because not once is the imagination implied. It's all about the concept for me. Like, what are you drawing? You. Right, so at what point are you using your imagination? I exist. Nature has done all the hard work for you. You're just copying, I said with a sly smile. I'm just learning my skills, he said, exasperated. Right, see, I'm not saying drawing hyper-realistic version of me isn't skilled or impressive, but it doesn't make use of your imagination, I pointed out. You might as well take a picture. A freaking mindless camera can do what you're doing 1 billion times better. I like it when you're like this, you know, he told me. Like what? I asked. Pointing out the things that you see, regardless of the consequences of doing so. You have your opinion, and you make sure to let everyone else know it, he told me as he went back to his sketch. It's an amazing thing in its own right, being able to freely give your opinion. For centuries, it was unheard of. Then you came along and changed all of that. You refused to follow the king, fought off the world's strongest military, and instead of choosing a new king, you had a president. By doing so, you paved the way for new inventions and innovations because you weren't afraid to voice your opinion. The world would probably have never gotten as far as it has now if you had never spoken up. I just call them as I see them, I said with a wave of my hand and a blush. Right, you allow nothing to stop you either. If there is something wrong or not right in your eyes, you make sure to let others know. If no one else is willing to listen, you take matters into your own hands. Sometimes you make things better, sometimes you make things worse. But at least you tried to change what was wrong for the better. That is more than what most countries can say, he said, putting down the pencil. He looked up at me with a smirk. How is this for implying imagination? He turned the picture around. Ivan, you jerk! I shouted with a fierce blush. The drawing of me had a loose, lingering blush on my face. At the top of the page, he wrote to make it look like I was saying, Use your imagination, Daddy. Don't you ever show this to anyone, I shouted, getting up. Well, of course not. It will be going into my own personal collection, he told me. personal collection? You have more drawings of me? I asked, surprised, if not a little mortified. Nah, just a few I've made over the years, he confirmed. You creep. I shook my head. Whatever, get dressed. As much as I love seeing your well-defined abs, we're going into town, and I don't want anyone else looking. Easily made jealous? He asked with a sly smirk. No, I don't get jealous. I'm territorial. Jealousy is wanting what someone else has. You're already mine. Territorial is defending what's already yours, I corrected with a toothy grin. Okay, but why do you want to go back? You haven't been there since you picked up the package, he asked, getting up. I want to go out to eat. I want to head back to the same diner we first went to on our way here. Then I want to pick up some rabbit food for the bunny house outside. We're going to be leaving soon. I just want to make sure they're taken care of, I said, following him up the stairs and into our room. I should have guessed that you would want to do something for those rabbits. You are very kind-hearted, he chuckled fondly as we stepped into our room. I'm gonna have to put the blankets back on the bed later, after I clean them. Yeah, you get change. I'll feed the cats, I told him after grabbing my black fingerless gloves. You do that, he said, stopping to give me a kiss. With a big smile, I bounced down the stairs. I don't know why, but I love his kisses. Maybe it's because they're always so gentle and sweet, or because he kisses me like I'm something precious he wants to keep. Whatever the reason is, it makes me feel worthwhile, and I don't want him to stop anytime soon. Hey babies, I'm sorry we forgot to give you your treats this morning, I said apologetically to the two of them. They laid curled up on the kitchen chairs. Hero cried up to me sadly. I'm sorry, I repeated as I got down a couple of plates. They hopped off the chairs when they saw that I was getting their treats. Hero hopped down slower and heavier than Lampushka. She waddled to the food bowl where Lampushka waited for her. I looked at her in thought before quickly finishing putting the food on their plates. I put them down, and once again, he didn't go for it yet. I started to pet Hero, and she purred loudly in contentment. I slowly moved my hand to the bottom side of her belly. I noticed that she was getting fatter, but chopped it up to her taking Lampushka's food and him catching things for her. I think it might be something else. Her stomach is too hard for fat. I was feeling around when I felt something move. My eyes widened, and I looked down at her. She stared back at me with calm blue eyes that held a trace of joy. A big grin spread across my face, and I carefully scooped her up. Oh my God, Hero, I can't believe this, I laughed happily, snuggling into her fur. What is going on, Fredrika? Ivan asked, walking into the room. Hero's pregnant, I laughed with joy. His eyes widened for a second, then a big smile crossed his face. The little lady is going to have a few babies soon, huh? Yep, my little girl, I squealed excitedly. I turned my attention to Lampushka and glared slightly. Don't think I've forgotten about you, mister. You got my girl knocked up. You will take responsibility. We will expect kitten support. He mewed at me. Really, Fredrika? Yes, really. He will be a father to these kittens, and he will support Hero through this. She can't back out of pregnancy, so neither can he. I huffed and crossed my arms. I do not think it will be a problem, he said, pointing. I looked down to see him affectionately grooming Hero while she ate his food. Again. I suppose you're right. I just don't want him to be one of those dads that knocks up a girl and then leaves, I said, petting them both. Lord knows we have enough of those. Do not worry, I raised him right, he smiled reassuringly. Now, let's get going. It is still a long drive to town. Yeah, and now I have to pick a few more things up. I got up and slid on my shoes, wrapping a thick jacket around me, and walked out the door. I'm driving. What? I said, I'm driving, I repeated, getting into the driver's side. Don't you think it would be better if I drove? I have more experience driving on snow, he suggested nervously. What's that supposed to mean? I'm a good driver, I protested. I have been in car with you several times as the driver when it snowed before. You were sliding all over road, he explained gently. I've gotten more experience since then, I protested again. I can drive just fine in the snow. Just watch me. I put the car into reverse and started to back down the driveway. Sure, the road was a little more slick and just a bit harder to drive on, but it wasn't that bad. See, it wasn't even slick on this spot. Frederica, you were on the grace. Another time skip. I sat across from Ivan with a pout on my face. We didn't even make it out of the driveway before he demanded to switch sides. So, I drove on the grass a little bit. No big deal. Sure, I accidentally hit the accelerator and a bit too much when I tried to get back onto the driveway and almost crashed into a tree. At least I didn't. Dorogoya, don't be like this. I know you are a great driver during any other type of weather. He tried to comfort me. I didn't even get out of the driveway. You gotta at least let me get my sea legs before you take the car from me, I said, still pouting. Hey guys, what'll it be? Rose asked. Hi Rose, it's been a few days. I'll take the chicken tender basket with a Coke, I requested. Sure thing, sugar. She winked at me. And you, big fella? I'll have the steak with water, he told her. You got it. I'll have your food out in a jiffy, boys. She smiled and left. I forgot she worked here, I told him when she was out of earshot. Anyway, I figure now is a good time to talk about Thanksgiving. It's in a few weeks, after all. You let your sisters know they were invited, right? The big sister Ukraine might have a little trouble getting here, however, he told me. How come? She is a very poor country, and getting a plane ticket may not come easily to her, he explained. Tell her not to worry about it. I got her covered. I'll reimburse her for expenses it takes to get here. Also, be sure to tell her we'll all be staying at my house. I have enough room for everyone, I said with a smile and a wink. I'm sure she will love that. It is not often that the three of us get to spend time together in one house, he said with a bright smile. His smile turned into a frown when a thought crossed his mind. You're not inviting France and England, are you? No, not this year. What do you mean? Well, I invite them every year, but they never show up. England usually makes a few comments, and France at least pretends to have made other plans. I always wanted to get the family back together for dinner, and I would try every year, I told him sadly, while playing with the straw. But not this year. After what they did a week or so ago, I really don't want anything to do with them. I do not blame you. Anyone who makes you cry or drives you to do what you did, he said while brushing the underside of my arm, does not deserve to have you in their life. I know that includes me as well. Vanya, niet Frederica. I know that what I did was bad. I bullied and harassed you for years. There is no excuse for me, he said, looking me in the eye. Well, at least you admit it. And you try your hardest to make every day make up for it. That's more than what most of the others can say, I said just as seriously, a small smile on my face. Besides, it's not like I haven't done my fair share to you. Only after I instigate. It's a two-way street. We both did our damage, now it's time to fix it. It's not going to be easy, and some things may not be able to be fixed, but if we work every day, if we try our best to mend things and make them right, Then one day, maybe we'll find that all we've done is good enough. In the end, that's all we can really do, I said with a smile. There is really more to you than you let on, he said as he studied me. Like I said at the beginning, you never gave me a chance to show you, I reminded. Da, and I am eager to see more. Here you boys go. Please enjoy your meal. Alice says hi, Alfred, Rose said, setting the plates down. Thanks, Rose. And tell Alice I said hi back. I smiled brightly. You got it, sugar. Have a great day, you two. She walked away to attend to other customers. She's nice, I said before taking a bite out of my chicken tender. Duh. So anyways, about Thanksgiving. We got completely sidetracked off of that. Another thing I want to do is have everyone make a dish from their home country. So think about something you want to make and send me a list of ingredients. The sooner, the better. Food shopping before Gobble Day is hell. I shuddered. Don't worry, I'll be sure to let everyone let you know ahead of time. He reassured me. Good. Now on to our next order of business. What are we going to do about the cats? They're clearly in love. With Hero being pregnant, I really don't want to separate them, but Lampushka has to go home. I finished softly. I do not know, but you are smart. I know we will figure something out, he said thoughtfully. Yeah, but what? I munched on a fry and thought, what way is there for us to be able to allow our cats to see each other from hundreds of miles away? Oh, I got it! Da? Don't you have a laptop? Da, but how does that help? He asked uncertainly. We could use Skype. That way our cats can see and talk to each other. I cheered. That could work. Figuring out times will be tricky, however. You are asleep when I am awake and vice versa. We both also have lots of paperwork we will need to catch up on, he pointed out. Yeah, I suppose that will be something we'll have to play by ear. At least we got a plan. I'm not going to enjoy having to hear a broken-hearted hero, though. I frowned. Having a sad hero will be heartbreaking for me. I've had her since she was just a little kitten. Do not worry. We will be back for Thanksgiving. She will be able to see him for a whole week then, he reminded me with a smile. Yeah, she's gonna love that. I agreed happily. I looked out the window at the white-covered ground. Just 3 weeks ago, it looked like fall, and there were leaves on the tree. Now it looked like winter, and all the trees were bare. The animals were gone or hiding. All of nature is quiet while it waits for warmer weather. You are staring off again. What are you thinking about now? He asked, breaking through my thoughts. I'm just amazed at how things can change if given time. Like us. Say, 1 year ago, someone said we'd be sitting in a diner while in a relationship and not fighting. I would have thought they'd be mad. And yet, here we are. Time does change everything, sometimes drastically, I said, deep in thought. Duh, I have been around for a long time. And I can say you are right. Time will change everything eventually. For better or for worse. Whether we want it to or not. Yeah, time is funny in that way. I nodded. Are you done yet? No, we can leave soon. You said you needed to pick things up for my pet store. Yep, rabbit food and a big bed for Hero. Her fat butt is getting too big for her current one, and she'll need room for when she gets to birth. I also need to pick up a few more harnesses and leashes, I said, making a list. You will train them to walk on leash as well, then? He asked. Yep. Can't have them running off during a walk now, can we? I smiled. Come on, let's get going. Oh, and I'm paying this time. If you insist. He rolled his eyes playfully. The pet store wasn't too far from the diner. When we pulled up, I hopped out and poked my head in Alice's shop to say hi. She waved at me, and I ducked back out. The pet shop was small, but full of things for pets. I stopped at a rabbit enclosure to pet them. They were so cute and fluffy. One with white and brown spots seemed to like me. I gave them a few quick pats before gathering up the stuff I needed. A big bag of bunny food, a new cat bed, and half a dozen of kitten-sized harnesses and leashes, each a different color. I walked up to the counter and dropped off the stuff. "Hello?" I called out. "I'll be right there," a voice called out. It sounded familiar. He came around a corner and stopped. "Hey, I know you. You're Tom. You had the record around here for Best Pie for years." I smiled. "And you're Alfred, the man who stole my title," he deadpanned. "Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't mean to take your title. I mean, I did want to win, but..." "That's good. Just a pie competition. Nothing more." He cut me off with a small smile. "There's always next year anyway." "Yeah, and I won't be here to beat you this time," I smiled playfully. "Yeah, I guess. Your total is $34.47, he said, handing me the bags. "Sure thing. Here you go." I handed over the money. "Well, I guess I'll see you later." I turned away and started walking. "Hey, Alfred." I stopped and looked back. "When you beat me at the contest, it was the first time I ever lost anything. I was told by my dad that I needed to win at everything I do, to be the best, to do everything, and anything else was unacceptable. I was always under pressure too. I always wanted to be a baker when I was younger. I would spend hours making different goods, but my dad would always disapprove. He always thought that I should be doing something else, sharpening some skill or another. He didn't think I could do much with baking. He only backed down when I started entering them in competitions. What I'm trying to get at is no matter how many competition I won or how many of my baked goods, I never had the confidence to I never even had the confidence to try to follow my dreams. I was always too scared of failing. But now that I lost, at baking no less, I'm no longer scared. I mean, I failed, but the world is still spinning. I guess what I'm trying to say is thank you for giving me the courage to try, for humbling me, and most of all, for making me no longer scared to fail. Thank you." He finished with a blush. I smiled brightly back at him. "Anytime, buddy. I'll leave my recipe with Alice, just for you." I waved and walked out. "Frederica, what took you so long?" Ivan asked from where he stood by the car. "The guy I beat was in there. I just stopped to take a minute to talk with him to make sure there were no hard feelings," I said, putting the bags in the back seat. I turned around and saw he was right behind me. "Yo, what's up?" From behind his back, he pulled out a bundle of roses. My eyes lit up, and he handed them to me. "I saw these and remembered that they are your favorite." "Dude, I told you that back in the 1700s. How did you still remember?" I asked, amazed, and he gently took the flowers. "I never forgot," he smiled. "Ready to go home?" "Yep, I just need to do one thing first," I said, taking a piece of paper out of the glove compartment. I put my roses down and started back into Alice's store. "Hey, can you do something for me?" "Sure, what do you need?" she asked. "Give this to Tom, please. It's my recipe," I told her, handing her the paper. "You got it. See ya." "Bye." I walked out and got in the car, my roses on my lap. I looked at him with a smile. "What was that?" he asked, referring to the paper. "My pie recipe," I told him. "You gave Alice your pie recipe." "Nope, it was for Tom." "Duh, I heard from around here that he is very arrogant and proud," he said with distaste. Hey, there's more to people than what is rumored about them, I lightly scolded. You should know. Yet another time skip. When we went home, I immediately put the bed and leashes inside. I put the bed by the fireplace, where the other two smaller ones were. I then darted back out and grabbed Ivan by the hand. Frederica? Come on, you're gonna help me feed the bunnies, I said excitedly. Alfred, I don't know if you've noticed, but small animals do not like me. He tried protesting. Lampushka loves you, I pointed out as I dragged him through the yard. He is the exception. I tried making friends with a hamster and he bit me. He huffed. Well, these aren't hamsters. I dropped his hand, ripped open the end of the bag of alfalfa. I'm going to show you how to make friends. I pulled out about half and threw it around the yard. It was spread over a large area. I squatted down and waited. A few moments later, a small brown head popped out of the melting snow. It sniffed around before the rest came out. It hopped a few feet forward and sniffed the alfalfa. Within seconds, it was nibbling away at the unexpected food source. About 1 minute later, the rest of the field was filled with rabbits. I held a hand out to one that was hopping around close to me. It stopped and sniffed me. It came up and sniffed my fingers. It nibbled a little, and I giggled. Slowly more started coming to me. I reached around and pet as many as I could. I picked one up and held it close to my chest, and it sniffed my lips. I gave it a kiss and stood up. Making friends with wild things is easy. You just have to have patience to allow them to come to you. You have to let them know that you won't hurt them, ever, I said, walking up to him. A small trail of bunnies followed close behind me. Now, hold your hand out. He stretched his hand out to me. I gave the bunny room to move around in my grasp. For a long time, I didn't show any interest in him. I could tell he was starting to lose his patience. Finally, the little fella sniffed in his direction. Then I held him out and let them slowly get closer. Slowly, they stepped one paw on his hand, then another, until one by one it had walked off of my hands and onto his. He stared wide-eyed at the little fuzzball. He lifted his other hand and so very gently pet the small thing. It sniffed his fingers and nuzzled up to him. A large grin broke across his face. Frederica, it likes me. Not just him, I said, pointing down with a smile. He looked down in amazement. All around us, the rabbits had hopped and started playing. Some had gotten into the bag and were pulling out mouthfuls of alfalfa. Not one ran from either of us in fear. How? If you are kind and gentle to the one you want to hold, then the others will see this and trust you as well. It works the other way as well. If you are cruel and forceful, then they will all avoid you. Show them that you can be trusted, and they will love you, I told him. You are amazing, Frederica, he said with a voice full of wonder. I know. And that is the end of this chapter. I hope you enjoyed. Anyway, I'd like to invite you to join the Discord, which is linked down in the description below. That being said, I hope you have a nice rest of your day, night, or whatever it is for you. Just enjoy your time, and I will see you tomorrow.